Howdy folks, it's Turtle and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we have some new bush trips to do. The latest world update came out. I think it's called Nordics and Greenland or something like that. So it says 3 bush trips, but there's actually 4, kind of, because this one is duplicated. And let me explain what's going on here. So it is the same bush trip, because I looked in here. It's just this uses the analog gauge. It's the 172, and this one uses the glass cockpit 172. So in order to keep my 100% streak, I'm going to have to do both of these, and it's 6 hours at least, because it always takes me longer. And I guess maybe what I'll do is I'll record this one someday and then just do the other one on my own, so I don't record the same thing twice. So I admit that's super annoying, because I don't want to have to do a bush trip twice to do my 100% streak. So why couldn't they just do a different bush trip? I don't understand the point of that. Maybe I'll understand once I fly one of them, but why do you have the same bush trip twice, just with different planes? Unless they wrote them both and one wasn't supposed to make it into the sim. That's a possibility. But anyway, enough complaining about that. We're going to do one of these down here. Here are the other two. So the one up there is supposed to be 1 in air quotes. This is 2 and 3. I have concerns about these two. Let's look at this for a second. Okay, it's only 9 hours, but look at this. 2 hours, 44 minutes, 2 hours, 12 minutes, hour, minute, hour, So, and it's on skis. I've never landed this plane on skis or landed on skis in the sim ever. This is the airport, so you land here and then hopefully stop before you hit the tree. And if you crash, how far back into the 2 hour 44 do you go? If there's a waypoint, like maybe there's a waypoint, a minute away for the city, then you only have to refly the last minute, who cares? But if you have to fly like hour or something, or any chunk of this, if you crash on skis, man, that's a lot of time. So anyway, that's my concern about this one, are all of these really long legs. And then if I go to the final bush trip, wait, what? Under my notes, something else got my eye. This has a 3-hour leg. So normally I only can spend like an hour and a half in the air at most when I'm in the sim, because of real life stuff. So I got to find time to do these long legs. So I'm torn. Obviously, you already know which bush trip I chose because of the title. But as I record this, you can experience the drama and suspense with me. I have time tonight. It's a late weekend night, and my wife is at her friend's house for the night, and my kids, I think, are okay enough that I can do this. I'm tempted to do this because it's 3 hours and this is the biggest chunk. But what I would really like to do is this bush trip and try to do both of these chunks in one evening, which are separate videos for you, but just some behind the scenes stuff here. This one I can manage. So I think I'm going to do this trip today. So this is where we're landing in the end of the first leg. Again, if you've never joined me for a bush trip, go back and watch all 47 or 52 bush trips, however many it's been. I'm totally kidding. That's like 80 hours of video. But the way this works is I usually combine a couple legs per video, because you're not going to have a 2 hour 45 minute video no matter how long this takes, even if I crash. I'll edit it down so it's consumable for you, but because of the time it takes for me to make the video, when the leg is this long, this is going to be one video, even if it ends up being 20 minutes edited down, which it won't be. It's going to be longer. Just like this will be, edited down but one time, and then, well, this is a bad example, but if they're like 20-minute legs, 15-minute legs, I'll combine them in one video, just because edited down is like 5 minutes. So anyway, enough of that. It's been a very long time since I've done a bush trip with you all, so maybe some of you haven't seen this before. This is how this works. So I'm going to fly this now. I'm going to try to fly this later as a separate video. And I just really hope there are waypoints close by, so if I crash, we don't have to refly the whole thing. We'll find out in a minute. the sooner I get done talking, the sooner we'll find out. I'll tell you how we're going to find out in a minute. I'm going to treat this as though no one's seen a bush trip with me before, because it's been a long time and I've picked up 800 or 900 subscribers since my last bush trip. So thank you all of you who are hitting the like button, who normally doesn't. It's bringing people to the channel and like crazy. I used to get 1 subscriber a day. I'm getting like 3 a day. So thank you for that. It's not about the numbers for me necessarily. It's about reaching out to the community, because one of my most popular comments is, even though these aren't tutorials, I learned so much from your videos. I learned more than a tutorial. So I'm going to keep making them and just do it in my style, and you get something out of it and you subscribe, or you don't get anything out of it and you move on. Whatever. Alrighty, here we go. Greenland exploration in the Pilatus Turbo Porter with skis. Will this have autopilot? I don't know. There are there's like 5 versions of this plane now. There's one with the glass cockpit, skis, different tundra types, all these different variations. I've never flown the one with skis, so I don't know what is in this cockpit. We'll find out together. Those of you who already know are probably biting your tongues, yelling at the screen, but we'll find out in a minute. All right, here we go. Greenland is one of the least visited, best preserved, and most breathtakingly beautiful places in the world. Yeah, because it looks like this in the summer. Geologically part of North America, Greenland is the world's largest island and most northerly land. And if you look at a globe, not a map, you will see that Greenland is clearly part of North America. In fact, a lot of people think they're looking at Canada if they're looking at a globe, because of the way it's laid out. On a map, it looks like it's Europe, but on the globe, you can tell it's part of North America. Fun little fact, I guess. It traces its exploratory and colonial lineage to Europe, and today is an independent country. See, this is why people think it's part of Europe too, but it's not. Today is an independent country that is a component of the Kingdom of Denmark, but again, it's part of North America. It was named Greenland by explorer Eric the Red, who reportedly believed that the name would attract settlers. Could be, just like they called Iceland to keep people away, but Iceland is beautiful. Is that true? I don't know. Who knows? They didn't have social media back then, so who knows what you could believe. Alrighty, 80% of the land mass of Greenland is covered by the Greenland ice sheet, the second largest body of ice in the world after the Antarctic ice sheet. The Greenland ice sheet measures 1,500 miles along its roughly north-south length and has a maximum width of 680 miles. At a gazillion square miles, it is larger than the land areas of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden combined, and is roughly equal to the combined areas of France, Germany, Spain, and Poland, rising to over 10,000 feet above sea level at its highest point. The ice sheet is nearly 2 miles deep at its thickest. Greenland is ringed by fjords that were, and continue to be, carved by glaciers flowing to the surrounding seas from the ice sheet's interior. A number of towns dot the coastal Greenland, each set amid stunning scenery of glacially weathered mountains and coastline. This includes Greenland's capital and largest city, Nuuk. Actually, I've heard that pronounced, and it's not really Nuuk. It's like Nuuk, or I'm not going to pretend, which lies on Greenland's southwest coast. Oh, too much scrolling. The Greenland, what is this? It is my late night friends texting me. I'll mute my phone. The Greenland exploration bush trip traverses some of the most spectacular and memorable parts of Greenland, starting at Summit Camp, a research station. I've heard of that. Located at Greenland's ice sheet's high point, the route heads to the west coast, flying over the ice sheet. The journey then turns south to explore the towns, islands, fjords, mountains, and other sites of this spectacular part of the world, which leads me to be hopeful we will have waypoints. Well, no, because, I don't know. We literally might not have a waypoint if we're going over the ice sheet in the first leg. Oh, I can't wait to get in here and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I read that. Flight instructions. What? No landmarks are visible over the ice sheet. Use the GPS heading at the beginning or turn on route and waypoints in the navigation aids options. Oh, okay. This is very different from every other bush trip. I'll explain in a minute. You can interrupt a flight at any time. The journey will resume from the most recent waypoint, which we know, which is why I've been talking about waypoints this whole time. After each landing, taxi to one of the areas and set the aircraft to cold and dark. All you do is turn off the battery. Big deal. Pay close attention to fuel. Not all airports provide fuel. I have repair refuel on my keyboard. I just hit a button and I get full fuel. Use ATC if you wish. If you use ATC, it sets up as IFR, and then you have to cancel IFR at the first leg, and then you don't get ATC after that unless you want flight following. We did that before, so we will not use ATC. We'll just use ATC in my regular flights, so we're not going to use ATC. So the landmark, okay, so normally routes and waypoints are blocked. So when you do a bush trip, this is a really long introduction, I'm sorry, but I'm acting as though no one's seen one of these before, right? When you do a bush trip, it's kind of like a mini game. All the rules and restrictions are preset. You can't change anything. Sometimes they'll let you. Sometimes they'll let you change the weather, which I've had to do before. And in this case, they're going to let us turn on routes and waypoints, which we probably will do so we don't get led astray on a 2 hour and 45-minute leg. If these were 15, 20 minutes, we definitely would not turn routes and waypoints on. But given it's almost 3 hours twice, plus an hour and all this other stuff, we probably will use this. But I'm not going to use ATC because, like I said, I did that in another bush trip. It wanted to do IFR, but IFR to the final destination. So when I broke free to go to the first airport at the first leg, it broke ATC basically. So let's see. I was going to say one more thing about this, I think. No. Yes, I was. I'm going to actually start this. I normally cut this part out because it takes a while to load. But I'm going to keep it in because I want you to see the route. So about 9 hours, probably 10 hours for me. We're departing in the middle of Greenland. There's Iceland. Oh, my mouse doesn't show up. I'm pointing at my monitor like you can see me. Top center of your screen. There's Iceland. And then under the O is kind of North Polish, I think. The North Pole kind of area. Not North Polish, the North Pole -ish, I think. And then we're coming down and around. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, we have to start the aircraft too. Oh, normally it started up for us. Okay, so we do have GPS. Let's look at a few things first. Okay, first of all, yeah, see, how far is, yeah, see, the last waypoint is an hour away. So if we crash landing on skis for my very first time on this rump, we have to go back an hour and refly the last hour. So my concerns are valid. Man, this is going to be tough. This, because of stuff like this and what we have to do, this definitely puts this in the high expert category of bush trips. Okay. The other time this came up is when we did the 40th anniversary thing, the Spirit of St. Louis Transcontinental, when the last waypoint, I crashed at the airport there, and the last waypoint was 4 hours away. So if I ever want to finish that, I have to refly the last 4 hours, and I refuse to take that kind of time. So anyway, I have to set the presets. I've never flown this, and then we'll get going here. Okay, it does have reversers. We're going to need that because we're going to be on ice. And whoop, let me finish setting up my stuff here. All right, I think I got it. This is our normal flight view, IFR, switches on the right, and GPS in the middle, stuff in the middle down there, and just co-pilot, cheetah head, and look out the window, look out the window. Okie dokie. Let's look outside, see what we're doing here. We're taking off on an ice sheet. I'm very nervous about, or at an angle too. I'm very nervous about the last hour screwing this up. Anyway, it looks cool, looks beautiful, looks gorgeous. There are lights and things. This is an air station, so looks like the air station's up there. We'll see it when we depart. All right, well, I looked at the checklist, and everything says checked off because I think it's set to start like normal, like a regular bush trip. So we just need to, wait, what? How come my thing isn't doing anything? Hang on a second. Wait a second. You're gonna cooperate here? Huh. My thing on my yoke isn't controlling that. Whatever, doesn't matter. I think I'm going to start this out checklist. It can't be that bad. How bad can it be, right? We need the master switch on. We need the ignition on. Everything's forward. We'll do the rotating beacon since we're about to start. And since we're on the runway, let's do all the lights and everything. There we go. And start. Right? You gonna work like that? Is it gonna be that simple? I mean, it should be. Do we have autopilot? I don't see auto. Do I have to hand fly this thing? Are you kidding me right now? I don't see an autopilot. Radios, 2 GPSs, ADF. Oh man, I have to hand fly for 3 hours. Ooh, I'm taking one for the team. Another reason to subscribe is I don't think anybody else is doing every single bush trip, especially not these crazy ones. So, yeah, subscribe, hit the like button, let people know we're here. Alright, we're going to turn that on because it's cold. Anything else we can turn on? Yep. On. That's inoperable? Are you serious? Okay. What's this? Booster pump. I didn't turn them on and it still works, so who cares? Okay. Alrighty, we're not going to use ATC, so we're going to be on the barometer for the, what is it? Pretty much clear skies? Is there an ATIS? I don't know what the weather is. There's no ATIS. Oh, there's no IFR thing either, because it's untowered. Okay, first set of flaps down. There we go. What do we get? Just 2 flaps on this one? 1, 2. Okay. Alrighty then. What's down there? Fuel valve. That was already on. Obviously, because we have fuel. Where are our fuel levels in this? Up there. Right down, or down there. Okay, we're good to go. Let's read about what we're doing. Goodness gracious. This is making me nervous. Where are we headed to anyway? Sierra Uniform 01 to... Oh my gosh, I forget my alphabet. Bravo Golf Uniform Kilo. I'm starting to slip because in my job I use the phonetic alphabet every single day, all day long, and I haven't needed to in my new role. My new role's been like a year and a half or something, so I just been forgetting. And the GPS stops right there. Okay, that's weird. Oh, I see. Here we go. To POI 1. So we'll just keep this little tiny thing. I'll show you how this works. You keep, actually you can see it here too. Keep this right over the arrow. And then every time we get to the next POI, we'll readjust. Or, like it says, 3. Oh, do they fix this? Does that stay collapsed? No. When are they going to fix that? Jeez, makes me annoyed. Anyway, or you just use your compass, which, right here. And then just do the heading. So, for example, we're going to take out 306 degrees, which is 300 is that big mark, and then 6 is right after that small mark. So here we go. Let's get going. 20 minutes in, and we're going to read about our first POI. It's an hour away. After lifting off, set a course and gain altitude, and enjoy the incredible views of this vast high-latitude wilderness. Summit Camp was established in 18... You know, I'm not going to read all this. So what I'm going to do is, you can always pause if you want to read it. I'm just going to give the cliff notes. Established in 1989 to support the Project 2. Summit Camp, many research stations, biology, the black holes. And then pause because I'm going to scroll down. That Exorbi's shifting ice. Living nature of the ice sheet, dynamic system. The camp is located in northwest Greenland National Park. It's on 375,000 miles of land. Permanent population is 0. Although upwards of 50 people may be present throughout the park at any time. Distributed throughout research stations like Summit Camp. So, we're going to fly for an hour and get to Summit Camp. Ice sheet view 1. Okay. Yeah. About an hour. We're really going to have to focus on this GPS with the POIs. That is what's going to save us. Otherwise, you just pull up this map. And... oh gosh, we're going all the way across in the first video here. Oh, okay, whatever. What you can do is you can pull up your VFR map, and it puts your plane in the middle no matter what. So then you know where you are. So if you're like this, you know you have to go north. If it's like this, you know you got to go south. That's a little secret. All right, I guess we can do it. I should have practiced this plane. First, I'm going to hold the brakes. I'm going to see the brakes work on. The brakes do work on skis. I mean, that would make sense. The wheels go just below the skis in this. So it would make sense that the brakes work a little bit. So basically I'm just landing a tail dragger. That's all I have to remember. That I'm just landing a tail dragger. I have landed this particular plane in the past. I think it's a tail dragger. There we go. I was gonna say, isn't the nose gonna pop up on us? What? 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 What's going on? Let's get some speed, please. Why can't we get any speed? We're getting some elevation, right? We're going up 500 feet per minute. So we are in the air. You can see the markers down there are pretty tiny. Flaps coming in now. Let's level off, get some speed. And let's look outside a second. Yeah, it's totally a tail dragger setup. Why didn't the nose ever pop up if it's a tail dragger setup? Anyway, I just have to remember I am landing a tail dragger when we land. That's all I gotta think about. I have reversers and I have brakes because the wheels stick out a little bit below the skis. What if I do gear up? Do the skis come up? Sometimes they will. What if I go gear down? Well, those are flaps, sorry. Gear up. I don't see the gears moving. I mean the gears. The skis move. Yes, they do. Okay. So there we go. Let's keep skis down so I don't forget. And there's our research station. We just missed it. Or our, whatever, airport station. Another thing, sometimes you'll actually get the purple line here over in the top left. You can just follow that if you want to cheat. But we're not getting a purple line, so we can't even do that. All we can do now is head to 306 degrees, right? And I'm actually going to start this timer because I'm going to need it. I think it stays running now. They fixed that a few versions ago. Yep. 306 degrees for an hour. And then we're just going to fly towards this. And then once it gets in the middle, I know we're correct. So we're going to have to go beyond 306 degrees. What's our altitude? Almost 2,000 feet. I don't really know how high we need to go. It doesn't really matter. So let's fly IFR for a minute. So there's 305, 306. Let's go 315 until this comes back across. Then we'll just follow it. I get to do this for an hour. Wow. Thank you for joining me because you get the edited down version of this massive flight. Holy moly. And that dirt looks like stuff in the snow, but it's not. So as much as I want to look around, I really need to pay attention to that GPS. So let's look around anyway. And then what I'll do is I'll get to sightseeing, which means I'll just give you sightseeing shots without me talking, and that's how we cut down from 3 hours to like something consumable. That being said, because I don't have autopilot, I can't let the plane go to get good sightseeing shots, so it's a little tricky. Yeah, what are we at here? Almost at 3,000 feet. Let's trim down. We don't need to go that high, I don't think. And we're still not on our GPS track. It has moved a little, so let's, yeah, because we're on 306 now, but we're south of it, so let's go back to 310, even 315, so we can join that track, and I'll show you what I mean when it comes back across. Alright, I went all the way to 330 degrees because it was not moving fast enough, and it's finally starting to move now. So this is a nautical mile out, so this means we are 246.8 nautical miles out. We will hold this heading until it crosses the middle, just about crosses the middle. Then we'll go to 306 because I think that's what it says is 306. And then I just kind of chase this rectangle. You're not really supposed to chase it. You're supposed to be good enough that you fly it. But I'm going to chase it. So let's start coming back here a little bit. Not too aggressively. I also still miss it. But alrighty, we're about there. See how it's in the middle just about. So now we got to get to 306. And there's 305, 304. Let's get back to 306 or we're going to drift. And see, we're drifting already. So let's get back to 306. Come on. A little more aggressive. So there you go. So now, well, we got to move a little bit to the right yet, but I'll fine tune that on my own. But anyway, so now we fly 306 and just make sure we stay on that arrow And we'll know when we get to the first POI because there'll be a save icon in the lower right corner. Then I know I'm safe. That if something happens, I don't have to go back further than that. Also, if there's any wind programmed right now, you have to account for wind, right? Heading versus tracking. We can follow heading at 306 all day long. But if we're tracking from the wind is screwing us up, we'll still get off, right? So let's actually look at the track up there, 302. Let's track 306. Move over more. See we're losing the rectangle. There we go. Let's fly like 310. Come on. There we go. We'll stay like this until it gets back in the middle again. And then it's in the middle, so let's go back to 306. So it's not a game. It feels like a game, like chasing this needle. You're not supposed to chase the needle, you're supposed to fly it, like I said. So there we go. We're kind of back in the middle. So I'm going to do this for the next hour, or 93 nautical miles, however long that takes. And then we'll look for this POI, this camp summit thing, summit camp. And then we will read about the next thing and fly for the next hour. And I'm keeping my speed just below the yellow. I'm pretty sure I can be in the yellow and not blow up the aircraft. But every aircraft is a little different. When it comes to the sim, we're detecting a crash or blowing up the aircraft. So I'm going to stay right on the edge, like 117, 118. I'm going to hold the speed there. I'm using the trim. I'm using my... Whoop, we're getting off again. I'm using my gauges and the GPS to follow that GPS. And that's how it's going to be. So once I get established a little better, I will give you some sightseeing for a couple minutes. There's only so many clouds and ice sheet you can look at. And then magically, within a minute or two, we'll have flown an hour. Alrighty, just an update here. 53 nautical miles left, so I haven't definitely got like 30 since I cut away the sightseeing. We're following this nicely for the most part, but I just realized I had a dull moment. If you hit CDI, right, to get your input source, change it to GPS, then you get your GD purple line over there. So that's how you get your GD purple line. There you go. But there you go, that's how you do it. So I just wanted to break in and tell you that. I don't think there's going to be more sightseeing though until we get to the summit, camp summit thing, because it's all the same stuff. So anyway, I have another, what? I don't know how long it is. How long is that going to take? I don't know. But we're lined up. I'm just going to keep counting down. I'm just watching videos on YouTube. And in a second, magically, we're going to be at the first POI. Alright, 29.6 nautical miles away. And we're still following the GPS perfectly. So There we go. Look at our altitude, though. 12,000 feet. Oh, man. It's because I have it trimmed for 115 knots with everything firewalled. So it's going to keep climbing. I can trim it down a little bit, but then it's getting close to that yellow line. But anyway, yeah, 28 nautical miles now. So we're getting closer. All right. It says 66.7 nautical miles to the next POI. It actually started at 103, so why does it say 66? Because when I crossed over to the next, when I crossed over our first POI, the summit camp thing, my teenager was downstairs talking to me for about 45 minutes, which was nice. It helped get through 45 minutes of hand flying this thing, exactly like you see now, chasing that rectangle. So, you missed the summit in terms of the camp thing, in terms of sightseeing, but it's fine because it was below the clouds anyway, because we're at 24,540 feet or so. Yeah, I realized I said 12,000 earlier when it was actually 22,000, but we keep climbing because I'm staying right on the edge and I'm firewalled, so we're still going up a couple feet per minute. So we're going to climb for a while. Just let it do. Whoops, I'm not paying attention to my GPS because I'm talking again. So let's read about the next thing, since we're halfway there already. From Ice Sheet 1, continue towards Ice Sheet View 2 in Greenland's west coast. Pay attention, turtle. Pay attention. West coast at the airport, which each mile farther to the west, altitude of the ice sheet decreases, while the surface over the route traverses remains uninhabited and untouched because of the environment. Sorry, I'm looking at all this at the same time. Greenland's coasts have seen exploration development. You can pause and read the rest of this because, well, let's keep going. No, 302 is too soon. We drifted off. I was following that line perfectly too until I started talking. I still don't see a GP or autopilot in here. If there is, let me know in the comments, although by the time you watch this it's too late, but I don't know for next time. I mean, if there were an autopilot, it'd be easy to get to, and I don't see one. So, I don't see an autopilot. Anyway, what's next as I lose control of my aircraft? Evidence indicates that humans have been present for thousands of years, all the small numbers. You can read the rest of that. Today there are 72 distinct population centers in the county. Okie dokie. Signs of... Oh, that made me dizzy. Whoa, I need to recover from that. Signs of the west coast will slowly emerge after overflying the Ice Sheet View 2. Sight the southern extent of the Upernavik archipelago. Oh, I can never say that word. And then pass over a series of islands, including the northern extremity of that island. That place is the location for first known inhabitants of Greenland 4,000 years ago. Alright, we got to get back to our rectangle here. And that's 304 degrees if we ever get back on track. And then, in 58 nautical miles, we'll read about the airport, which says it's another 54 minutes away. And again, if I screw this landing up, we have to go back 54 minutes. Not fun. Let's not screw it up. It's just a simple taildragger landing. We'll land on skis. What happened there? Why did that... What the heck just happened? Did you see that? What? What happened? Why do we nose up like that? What the heck is going on? Weird. Must have had an updraft from a cloud or something? I don't know. But that was scary. Let's not get into the yellow, because again, I don't know how serious the yellow is. Sometimes you can fly in the yellow, sometimes you can't. I'm not going to test it after an hour and a half of flying. So anywho, there's your update. I am nervous about landing. It's just a taildragger on skis. No big deal. Right? No big deal. Why are we still climbing so much? Long runway. We have reversers. So even if I come on over these trees and land out here, I have reversers. You know, we'll stop quickly. So I don't know. I've landed this plane many times before. I just get nervous because I have to redo an hour if I crash. Anyway, 53 nautical miles to go, and you hear my voice again. Let's trim down because we're getting in the yellow. And I'll see you in a second. I'm not going to do more sightseeing because it's the same stuff as you already saw. So on another half an hour for me, 40 minutes, only a blip of less than a second for you. See in a second. We're only a couple nautical miles further, but notice this. Do not rely on fuel flow instruments to determine fuel level. What does it say here? Low fuel. It's not low fuel, because if you look over here, we have over half a tank in both tanks. So ignore that. Why are we still climbing, by the way? I still haven't figured out why we're climbing. And now we're way off because I wanted to show you the graphic. I want to show you the light bleeping at me. Anyway, ever since it did that weird thing where it like flew up and came back down, I'm still trying to recover and level off and stuff. Very strange. But anyway, just wanted to show you that light because it just came on. Oh, I also wanted to mention that I've been hitting D on my keyboard because of the gyro drift. Something you gotta be aware of. And yeah, that's about that. Oh boy, we're a mile off. This is the worst it's been because I've been watching that like a hawk. And for some reason I decided to show you something else, and look what happens. Doesn't take much to throw you off. Anyway, we're at what? 25,800 feet. Look at that. I'm still climbing. Stop climbing. I guess I can just bring back my throttles so that we stop climbing. See, we're pointing up again. Dude, what is going on? Anyway, whatever. I'm going to focus on this. I'll see you at POI 2, I guess. Alright, 17.4 nautical miles from POI 2. And I've been coming down now a little bit just because I want to see stuff. We're above the clouds. And we don't see the coast. We don't really see the ice sheet. We just see haze and clouds. So what we're going to do is, and this could really screw stuff up. Oh, I did get an overspeed warning when I got to 125. So I had to draw back power and nose up quickly so we didn't blow up the aircraft and have to start over. So what we're going to do, while I chase that square, is we're going to see if we can change the weather. Let's see if it lets us. Let's do scattered clouds. That's still a lot of clouds. Still a lot. Let's make sure we're staying on target here. And let's try this and try something else. Let's do few clouds. See what happens. I don't want to do clear because clear is boring. Okay. See how it's also changing the flight of the airplane? So let's hit B for barometer. That didn't even change. Let's trim back a little because we're nosing down more than I want to, and now it's going to have to readjust because things change when I change the weather, which is how it works. And whoop, let's go back to 304 because we're on our triangle again over here. And now we're really slowing down. Let's get the fuel or the throttle back in. Goodness gracious, it's going to hunt for a while. Let's just sit there and let's look. Alrighty, now we can see the ice sheet. See the colors change? See, we didn't see that before. See? See that? See all the different colors? Now we can see the ice sheet. Is that the ocean? Maybe. Okay, let's not overspeed. Let's be careful here. We gotta get back on track. I think we're stable, actually. I think we're stable. This is a good speed. I don't want to push it because when I heard that overspeed warning, I freaked out. Okay, I do want to keep descending though, because we're at what? 20,000. What is that going to be? 20,600. Yipperoni. I'm looking over here. That's how I know. Okay. But anyway, at least now we can see the ice sheet below us. See, like the ridges in the snow and stuff. Now that's beautiful to look at. Okay, so we're going to keep it like that. Let's check our fuel. We have just less than half a tank. We have another, well, after these 10 nautical miles, another hour to go. So we should be okay on fuel. I don't know, but I'm going to keep descending. So I'm bringing back throttles to descend. I'm not nosing down to descend. If I nose down, we would speed up. I don't want to speed up. We want to nose down. And I'm getting us back on track over there. So 9 nautical miles, and then we'll read about the next thing. Can I use this view? Whoa. Use this view super fast just so we can look around. There we go. Now I can control the airplane. Oh, the way the drone works, by the way, you can move the drone around, then hit C, and then you can control your airplane, which I'm doing right now. So I cannot move the camera. I can move the airplane though. Hit C again, and that'll get you back to camera control, and I'm controlling the camera again. You see? But I really need to know what I'm doing because I'm not running autopilot. I keep looking for autopilot. I keep hoping it's there and I'm blind. But I don't see it. Because here we got, sorry, you probably hear me shaking my leg because I'm getting kind of antsy. 7 nautical miles are right on the money. So let's keep this going here. So we got to move over to 304 to stay on that or so, assuming the wind isn't affecting us too much. So these are just our gauges. No autopilot there. Engine stuff there. GPS, radio communications here. No autopilot. This is just GPS, no autopilot. ADF, no autopilot. Fuses. This is your... Why can I not think of the name of this thing? This is to communicate with... oh my gosh. Why can't I think what that's called? Anyway, that's how you set your like VFR following. And then more switches and gauges. Stuff down here. I better keep track of what I'm doing here before I get too far off. Hey, we're right on the money. Okay, cool. When I don't pay attention, that's when things go well. Yeah, no autopilot that I can see. Because if we're autopilot, it'd be right here, easy to get to, right? Okay, so we're at 305. We're seeing that we're drifting a little bit. We're good speed, good vertical speed, and I don't know, we're at what? 20,000, no, we're at 19,800. Yep, 18,800. So we'll come down to, I don't know, 15,000 or something. Who knows? Who knows what we'll do? But I want to come down. This could be the ocean out here. I'm not sure, but 3 nautical miles, and then we change over to POI 3. My wife is at her friend's house, and she's like, "Did you get a chance to fly the plane? Because I've been trying to fly this ever since I woke up this morning." It's a weekend day. I was going to do it early this morning because my wife was out of town with her friend, and stuff came up. Oh, it saved us. See the save icon? So now if we crash, we come back to here. And then something else came up. I had physical therapy for my heart. That's like a million times a week. Feels like every day. And then one kid needed something. Okay, let's go back to, whoa, let's quickly go back to 304. I don't want to miss the change over here. And then, what else came up? Something else came up. Then something else came up. And then finally at 6 p.m. I was able to get downstairs. There's 104.1 nautical miles. And it's going to be 301 degrees. So we're already past it, so let's just level off. And then once we line up, we'll go back to 301. And keep an eye on everything. 500 feet per minute is a good rate to come down. Like I said, I'll come down like 10,000 feet, maybe 15,000. We'll see how I feel. Hit D for any drift. No drift. Because I hit it obsessively. Barometer. Weather is stable. Let's trim down a little bit. And time to go to 301. See, it tells you right here what you want to do. You want to be at 301 over at 304. But then you have to count for wind, which there really isn't any. Alright, we'll stay right here until we line up. Alright, let's read about the final section for an hour, whew, give or take. Continue flying over the northern end of the island and pass just south of that island. Are we really over islands? No, we'll just get there in an hour. Oh, we're really drifting off now. The landforms here are representative of those throughout the coast, all of coastal Greenland, having formed through the process of glacial weathering and erosion. These forms include numerous small bays, etc., etc. Flying past the margin of the ice sheet. Oh, are we dipping down here? Surface of the planet during the ice age. You can read about that. Pass over the island and sight the town. It's renowned for its archaeologically as being the northern limit where the Norse artifacts have been discovered. Gain a visual on the airport. Bring this first leg of a journey to a close by landing safely, because if you crash, you have to go back an hour. So, or maybe, hey, what if I fly over the airplane? Over the airport. Will that save me and let me start over the airport? Never thought of that. I'm getting way off track here. Never thought of that. What if I fly over the airport No, I did try that. I tried that with the Spirit of St. Louis flight, hoping that if I crashed, hoping that it would bring me back over the airport, and I crashed and it didn't bring me over the airport. It had brought me 4 hours back. So it doesn't work. Okay, well, we're going to fly till we find this airport. If we get to some water, I'll do some more sightseeing, but right now it's just more of the same stuff. So, you're either going to see me in a second, because when I overlap my cuts, it's a second. You're either going to see me in a second, and we're going to be there, or we'll be approaching, or you'll see some interesting sightseeing. Just remember, it's just a tail dragger, we have reversers, and all I need to do is turn off the engines, and we're good. And then we get to do this again for 3 more hours in the next video. Anyway, see you in a little bit. I'll try not to get stressed out, because what's the fun if you're stressing out, right? 87 nautical miles out yet. However, I see water right there. So, I guess between here and there, it's like 87 nautical miles? No, I mean, it doesn't tell us to turn again. So let's see. Yeah, that's out there somewhere is our airport. So, because we're headed to UK, United Kingdom, and if I look on here, United Kingdom, so the airport is straight out there on an island, like that. Okay, and if we end up in open water, we've gone too far. So one of these little islands is our destination. We've only been flying for an hour and a half. So is this going to take less than 2 hours and 45 minutes? Is it actually going to take me less time than prescribed? Because normally it takes me way more time than prescribed. We are 15,000 feet out, or up. That's where I wanted to stop. But I think I might start, I'm still going to come down. 300 feet per minute, that's a good amount. And then we'll just review landing procedure stuff when we get closer. So there you go. I'm not going to throw any sightseeing, because by the time we get close enough to look at that cool stuff, it'll be time to approach and land. So you'll either hear my voice as we get ready to approach and land, or when something interesting happens in between. Jumping in before I planned, because the train changed. Bunch of speckled rock or something all over the ground. Wanted to show that to you since it was different than everything else we looked at. And we're still right on the money, so doing a good job following that. I was enjoying watching this fuel thing, because the gallons left were less than the distance and going down further than the distance, although, gotta remember, that's not accurate as the warning says, because we have 3/4 of a tank left. So I'm not sure what that would do if we got to 0, but as I bring the throttle back to descend more and more quickly, we're using less fuel, obviously. I just think that's interesting, but there's a warning sticker right there. So, that's about it. I just wanted to jump in and show you the landscape. Let's use this camera and hit C for camera so I can recontrol the aircraft, and there you go. I don't know if that's ice or rock or what, but it's something. And it's going to be interesting. Yes, I'm talking weird because I'm very nervous about landing this thing. I've been watching YouTube now that my kid went upstairs to get through the last hour, but I don't want to redo the last hour. I want to do the next leg yet today, which is another 3 hours. I would like to do that. So hopefully not have to redo any of this. Whoa. So I am very, very nervous. I think the last time we had a long leg and had to be concerned about going back was the 4.5 hours or the 4 hours for the Spirit of St. Louis. So yeah, that's why I feel like my nerves are justified. But we'll talk through the landing procedure many, many times as we get closer. So 57 nautical miles. Okay. Alrighty. Oofta doofta. Alright, 43.4 nautical miles. Let's see where we're at. We're at 8,360 feet. 116 knots. And boom! Islands have rendered in. Oops, sorry for the squeaky mic stand, but let's check out the terrain. Oh, it's beautiful. Just beautiful. And Yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous about landing. So, landing procedure. We'll come down. I don't know where stall is. I can't necessarily trust this. We'll do full flap, so maybe I can get all the way down to there. We'll come out flying. We'll come in hot, level off, let it touch down. Skis are already down, which might be why we've been burning so much fuel. But skis are down. We have reversers. I've confirmed many times reversers. We won't need the brakes. I assume the brakes would work with the skis because I held the brakes with the skis down before takeoff. And we'll just land like normal. I'll just pretend it was a 3-minute leg and not an hour leg. And hopefully everything will be okay. Goodness gracious. So our airport is out there somewhere. I mean, we're right on the money, so it should be literally straight ahead on one of those 2 islands. So, oh, we need to come down. We leveled off here. We're at 8,300 feet. We need to come down. I want to keep it descending about 800 or 500 feet per minute. And we can slow down on the dime. Okay. It's slowing down instead of nosing down. Now it's doing both. Now it's nosing down, or now it's coming down. I bet it speeds up. Yep. What's that? 111. Anyway, whatever. You gotta be careful. All right. Oh boy. Let's look outside. Let's use the drone for a second, and hopefully it's stable enough that our airplane won't do anything weird. That's the morning sun, by the way, because it was like 9:30 a.m. in the sim or something. We started in the middle of Greenland. We're flying to the western coast. 7,840 feet. Yep. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So our nav log shows a snowy island. These look kind of rocky, but there are spots of snow on them, so hopefully we can trust our reference image. Hopefully we can trust my landing skills. Hopefully this just isn't rendered in fully, because the resolution and detail looks really crappy. Okay, it is rendering it now finally. It's just... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, that looks really crappy. And in bush trips I have high expectations, because you'd think they would plan a bush trip around their good scenery, right? But it is, it's finally rendering in. It's just a small radius. I remember when they shrunk that radius too to get better performance out of the sim. It used to go all the way out here. It would get really nice and sharp and crisp. But then because of performance, they brought it in very closely. So when you're above like 5,000-6,000 feet, sometimes you can see where it's not sharp and crisp yet. Where here it is nice and crisp. We haven't talked about that in a year or two, I guess. But it was a topic of conversation a lot in the beginning of the sim. Okie dokie, we're still pretty close to being right on target. 6,500 feet. Right into this cloud. I don't see any icing controls, but I did see pitot heat, obviously. We're going to keep all the landing lights on, even though that probably caused us to lose fuel too, because they come down, I think. Yeah. I think they come down and they retract, perhaps. Maybe not. I thought they looked retracted or down earlier. Still no autopilot that I see, at least not within reach. Maybe in editing I'll find it. I don't think there is in this one. I think you need the Pilatus with the G950 to get an autopilot. 6,000 feet now. And into the big cloud. I guess we'll stick together through this cloud to see what's on the other side. The train isn't too high. Our airport is at 400 feet, I think. So that train isn't going to be like a big mountain behind this cloud. In fact, look over here, down at the GPS. Look how far we have to go before we run into land, so we'll be good. Here we go, into the clouds. Into the clouds. Beautiful, beautiful cloud. And, starting to fall asleep, even though I want to do another 3-hour leg tonight. Today, whatever. Oh, it is night. Oh my gosh, with the time change, you never know what time of day it is. Oh boy. We got some turbulence there. Alright, so we got off track, because as you get closer, the more sensitive it is. And, I don't know why I got off track. Let's see, look. Nice and crisp, not crisp. That looks kind of high. I might not want to get too low until our destination is spotted. Yeah, look how sensitive that's getting, because we're getting so close. We're only 30 nautical miles out. That's fine. But according to our map, the island we're looking for is all by itself. So, we're in the middle here, because I always put you in the middle. Okay, oh wow, we have a ways to go. We have to go over all this terrain. And then our island is all by itself. Okay. Alright, 4,700 feet. Let's level off. I'm going to use throttle to level off until we get closer. Because the lower we are to the ground, the more difficult it'll be to spot. So I'm just easing in throttle just little by little. Just until we get... Whoop, I just bumped with my thumb. Just until we get level here. One thing I wish they would do for these really long legs is give you a POI 5 minutes out from the airport. Just throw something like, hey, there's this island called the blah 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 island, and then you have waypoint to start from. Because it's mean to make things go back hours, especially the transcontinental St. Louis thing. Because even the transatlantic flight, there's Eiffel Tower right next to the airport, so when I crashed on that one, I just had to go back to the Eiffel Tower and land. So, it's mean. Sometimes I wonder if they fly these themselves. Because they would be like, oh gee, we should put a waypoint closer, just in case YouTube amateurs like the Tall Turtle are trying to land and they screw up. And they have a life outside of flight sims, so it's hard to go back an hour. But hopefully the landing is perfectly fine, and I'm just complaining for no reason. We're holding off at 4,500 feet, exactly as I planned. We're a little to the right of our flight path, but that's because there's a big mountain. So if we go over the flight path, we'll run into the mountain. So I'm purposely staying just north of it on purpose, and then we'll get back on track. And then we'll look for our airports. At least we're not going to run out of fuel, right? I hope not. I don't think we will. Oh man. That is a big mountain way out here. Jeez. Beautiful though. I just wish the render radius were bigger. Very nice. Look at that. Well, the fjords they were talking about along the coast. Although I do have to tell you what my 15-year-old said when he was sitting with me earlier, which seems like forever ago now. I said, man, if I crash on this landing, I have to go back an hour and redo it. He's like, but Dad, if you crashed in real life, there's no redo. I'm like, man, I wish I'd been recording when he said that, because that's super clever. Super duper clever. That's beautiful down there. But if you look at those trees, you can tell how high we actually are. I mean, 4,500 feet. I just didn't want to hit this thing. And, oh boy. I'm going to land soon, and my younger child is coming down the stairs to see me. So, I have to delay the stress, or extend the stress even longer. But I think I can handle it. I think I can do this, right? Man, oh man, let's zoom this out, by the way, so we can get an idea of where that outer island is. It's that little one way out there. Way out there. 15.4 nautical miles now. And, I'm cooking my kid another dinner while I fly this plane. So I'm gonna, this last 15 nautical miles is gonna take like 45 minutes. Real life time. Just giving an update in case I act even more stressed out, because landing this thing after an hour isn't stressful enough. Are we going to clear this terrain? Let's make sure we're maybe even climbing a little bit yet. These little hills come up. Actually, they're not little, but these are flat on mountains, man. My goodness sakes. Anyway, this first hour of 2 hours and 44 minutes, which isn't going to take 244 because just 219. It's taking me like 4 hours of real lifetime, but that's okay. That's okay. Put my kids before the flight sim. So anyway, I also wonder if this still runs while I'm paused. It does. That ran while I paused it to test. Okay, so 220 though. I thought it was taking me like I don't know. I guess maybe I started later than I thought. I'm looking at the clock on my computer and I'm like, I've been doing this for 4 hours. Maybe I haven't. Maybe it just feels like it. Maybe that's 220 with pausing. Okay, that's not so bad. So even with pausing and helping my kids, it's going to take less time than they said. So that means the next leg might go faster too. Anyway, what are we at? 11 nautical miles. I know it says we're way off, but that's going to avoiding the string behind the clouds here. Airport coming into view on the GPS, 10.6 nautical miles away. Our fuel is just enough to get there. Man, just this final bit. Some of my flights are only this long, and this is just the end of the first section of many. I'm not complaining. I'm just talking more because I'm nervous about landing this thing, because I've never landed this before. So what a way to start when the pressure is super high. So is this our island here? I think that's our island right there. We got a big island and some other ones. I think we're landing like right up there. I think that's what I want to say. Let me zoom it out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Okay, so I guess our airport is in sight. Okay, well let's bring back throttles a little bit here and descend now maybe to 2,500 feet or so. Whew. I'm going to try to land this before I have to do the next step of my kids' food. 7.5. Yeah, that has to be it. Although it said it's way to the left though. Maybe that's not it. Now I'm confused. I'm really confused. No, it could be. Just remember that's going to get more and more sensitive as we get closer, so. Oh man. Oh yes it is. It's just because our path is coming across here from the left, see? Our path is going over the water here. So that is it, because it'll line up. Yep. Yep, we're going to intersect right now. Okay, that is our destination. Man, okay, 4,500 feet coming down, 500 feet per minute or so. Am I comfortable enough in my chair? I think I am. I don't think I need to readjust anything. Of course, there's a cloud right in the way. Whew, my heart is beating way too hard to give when I just had a open heart surgery. There's a runway for sure. We want to land uphill, so we want to land from the left. So what we'll do is we'll land from the left, and then I'm just going to turn off everything wherever we come to a stop. I'm not going to like drive up to the building or anything. I'm just hoping just turning off the battery is all it needs to like record the flight. So, oh man, I'm so stressed out, but I enjoy it. It'd be a totally different thing if our last waypoint were only 5 minutes away, but given it's an hour away, I'm really nervous. We also have to get, we need to get down more, and that other island is in the way. So let's cross over the center, and then do left traffic pattern, and then land. There's the beacon. Skis are down because it's snowy. At least it was in the preview. The skis are down, and flaps is too early, and we're going to come in hot, level off, ground effect should land us softly, pull back on the yoke so we don't prop strike, slam on the reversers. I don't really need brakes because of the reversers, and wherever we come to a stop, that's where we'll be. I just have to go down. Actually, I can see my throttle. So if I engage reversers and they're not engaged, I'll actually see my throttle with this view. I don't have to go down like that. Just see the throttle down there. Okay. That's the plan. Ooh, there's a town just like in the picture. Okay, I mean, this isn't a very difficult landing. It's just because if we screw up, it's a lot to do. So, I think we need skis. What if it's not supposed to have skis and the skis are down? Will that trigger as a crash? Like a landing gear crash? I mean, I can't really tell if that's snow or not. There's definitely snow in the picture. Let's see what happens when we fly by. I mean, it looks like, yeah, that's snow. That's definitely snow. Okay. Nice threshold on that one, too. Alrighty. 2,500 feet. Don't lose sight of the target. We'll come out over the town. And we'll, land. So again, skis are down. We'll do flaps in a moment. Throttles are coming way back. Alright, my child has been fed. How long is the timer going for? Like 20 some minutes or something later now. Anyway, I almost forgot to hit record. I almost started to finish this without hitting record. Okay, what are we at? Let's be careful. We're at 500 feet above sea level, and the airport's 400. We need to be able to see the runway. So that was very scary, because I had been coming down and turning, and then I paused it and came back 20 minutes later to this. First set of flaps down. I think we have to climb yet. 600 feet, okay. Full flap already. Skis are down. We are just looking for that runway, which seems to be way higher than 700 feet. Alright, we need full throttle to do anything with full flap, which is totally okay. We were down about 70 knots and we had no signs of stalling, so we were good. So we should be just fine. And the nerves I'm feeling right now and the stress is not good for somebody who had open heart surgery 6 weeks ago. I'm feeling my heart hurts. Alright, here we go. Short final. I feel sick to my stomach. Especially because we're getting into stall territory? What's that all about? Again, with full flap and everything. You move the throttle a little bit and it changes drastically. So here we go. Now we're too high. So, we need to come in nice and slow. There we go. It's like super quick. Gall. Okay, here we go. I feel sick to my stomach. Here we go. Oh, we don't need to go that slow. No, too slow. We have plenty of time to slow down and we're going uphill. So, we can keep our speed up. There we go. Oh, not speed that high though. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, this feels like a short runway all of a sudden. Oh, no. Oh, crap. Go around? Let's go around. Let's go around. Go around. Don't touch down. Don't touch down. Oh, man. Oh, we could have... That would have been perfectly fine. Do you see how much runway we had left? Okay, it's because there's that bump in the hill. We had lots of runway left. Okay, now I know. I have plenty of space to do that maneuver. Okay, that is really good to know. They tricked us with a bump in the middle of the runway. I thought we were out of runway, but that was only like a third of the way. We had a lot of runway left. Okay, I was so scared my VSI was so steep it was going to have a damaged gear. Remember, we have skis and stuff, so that is fine. We can take it easier now that we know what we're looking for here. So this time we're going to go out much further, just so I can set up a little bit better. And then I know I can get really slow because we hit 60 knots and we had no signs of stalling. So we can get really slow, soften our descent at the last second, let ground effects slow us down, and we have a long runway. Just ignore the hump in the middle and we'll be fine. That's the plan. Hope it works. Alright, coming down on our final for take 2. And even though I said not much sightseeing, this video will be quick, even though it's 2 hours 45 for me. I still have a feeling we're quite a long video for you too, even edited down. Of course, I just have to predict that, but here we go. Here we go. We're gonna go over this building at about 70 knots. Maybe 75. We'll pull back to level off, because then we're going uphill too. So not only are we descending, but then we got to pull even more because we're going uphill. So let's keep our speed up here. I am actually using throttle to control my speed, which is not what you normally do. But because I have to get ready to pull up to get uphill. So I'm kind of doing it backwards, but anyway. Okay, let's get some speed. Because when I pull up to level off and go uphill, it's going to really slow us down really fast. And I don't want to stall. So here we go. Alright, level off. Nope, here we go. We're good. Touchdown. Touchdown. And reversers are not working because we bounced. More reversers. Now reversers are working. Brakes, reversers, flaps coming in. And reversers in. There we go. Do brakes work? Brakes do work. Brakes work. Parking brake. Let's shut it down here and see if this counts. Or do you hear my breathing is really heavy? Or do I have to like... How do we move that thing over? Come on. Well, there it is. Okay. That should stop the prop. Or not. My yoke is screwing this all up. Bring that back. I can't get the cutoff to work, so let... What? We just gotta kill the battery, I guess, because... There we go. That's not good enough? Why is the prop still going? Oh gosh, now it doesn't even show snow. Why is the prop still going? I turned everything off. There it goes. There it stops, right? What more do you want from me? I turned off everything. And this keeps getting all weird. See that? Why are you being all goofy here? Okay, I guess we'll pilot this thing over to the base, I guess, and see if we can turn it off. So I'm just trying to get this to go down in the cutoff section. This is freaky, because now I gotta turn it around. Oh boy. Whoa, that freaks me out a little bit. Oh man, how do I get this thing to... Registers cold and dark. Slow down, slow down. Slow down, we're just gonna slowly taxi back. On skis. I mean, it said to use skis, I would think, right? Something else I can try is look for the fuel cutoff valve. But I'm not going to try anything else until I've taxied back. Just because I don't want to do this twice. Well, if the ski's down on this, I'm scared it's going to say damage to landing gear. Or something stupid. So maybe we will just stop it right here. Just because I'm scared of damage. Okay, so now let's try this. Let's go over here. Let's bring this back. Right? But it won't let me get into this cutoff position. See? So, what if I off. Everything is off, but the props are still running because it's still getting fuel somehow. When I move my yoke, it just does the opposite. So let's look at this here. Will that turn it off and count it as closed? And because normally you just do the battery, and as soon as you turn off the battery, that's all you need to end a flight cold and dark. It's still going. It is still... There it goes. Cold and dark. There we go. Jeez, fuel cut off now on that one. Okay, there we go. I did it. Flight 1, or leg 1. I'm going to keep going on this. So, subscribe so you know when leg 2 drops. Hit the like button so people know we exist. Play the algorithm game. I'm tired, but I'm going to try to keep going. And you'll see in another video. See you next time.